And you are welcome to Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. We are back at it again. Well, folks, it is what it is again. It's going to be a very pleasant conversation because we have our brother here. He's is one of the staples of this program, and as I've said, we're going to have a very great conversation. Anytime we get together, we have been able to touch some nerves, if I can put it that way. But it's not nerves as such, but it's about where we are heading to into the future, and we are going to have a very great conversation. And then, if you can join us, you may call us at 437-7783-299. 437-7783-299. It's a WhatsApp number, and wherever you may be on Mars, you can call us from there. You may be from, on Jupiter. You can call us from there again. And we are joined today by our wonderful friend, a brother, Fasil. Fasil is right here with us, and so it's going to be great. So, how are you guys doing? Ron, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just, it's just a nice Saturday, beautiful sunny Saturday here on the West Coast. So of Canada, so no, nothing uh, unusual. Just we're getting closer to Christmas, of course. People are starting to throw their Christmas parties and starting to play for a couple of those coming up, and so it's all good. Nothing to complain about. Nobody listening, anyways. So, and how are you doing, TYB?
Like I always, you know my answer. Who wants to know
I know
better?
your answer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
who wants to know? I do. That's why I'm asking you.
that's right. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm very, very good. I'm so happy. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. I'm itching to come onto the program and to have a very great conversation as we've been having over the past couple of, I would say over the past year about a particular subject. And we have Fasil here. Fasil, how you doing?
Very well. I'm good. I'm good. It's been a tremendous period for me. I use tremendous because I want to stay positive. Buried my dad
As
2 weeks
usual.
ago.
As usual.
Um, Buried my dad 2 weeks ago, and
Oh,
Hmm.
took my locks off. About 13 years of dreadlocks taking off.
Oh,
oh,
Yeah, so it's a new face for me. A new face, a new PHASE too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so but I feel very alive. I feel good. I feel there's a lot of great a lot of greatness on the way. So I'm just ready to tap into all that potential.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I heard I could come on this interview, I said, yeah, this is a good opportunity to get back my groove.
It's therapeutic, sometimes,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to hear that, but welcome to the
Thank you.
club. Welcome to the club. Because
Thank you.
sometimes you lose a loved one, and it's the way that we are all experiencing that. I would say that back, when we were growing up, it wasn't as rampant as it used to be. And every
Yeah.
time that we heard that somebody was dead, we thought, hmm, gee, this person is dead. But at that time, we didn't know how old they were or how sick they were,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But then,
True.
it's all good. It's all in the hands of God. I mean,
Yeah.
one way or the other, we'll go the same way. So
hmm
True.
yeah.
accept our
Yeah.
sincerest of
Sure.
sympathies. But
Yeah. Thank you very much. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah.
hmm
So,
Yeah.
Ron, AI and the future of the music industry.
Okay.
Yeah. hmm
The floor is yours.
I will tell you that I'm as a songwriter, I am my mouth is sort of going, oh my goodness, where are we going? Because as I shared with you a moment ago, TYB, I wrote um, two themes, two possible themes for this radio station for this show, and it was done in 10 minutes or less. And I don't think as a songwriter, I could write as good of a song, as catchy a hook, and with such great background vocals. I, there's no way. I mean, I don't even come close probably to what that could produce in that period of time. I probably would take me a year to write a good song like that, to get it produced in that way. And folks, we'll have you have a listen to it sometime, and you'll get an idea of what AI is creating. I know TYB, I shared one of them with you as well. I'm not from Brazil. I shared one with you as well.
Yeah, you
And
did.
I don't know how you can beat that. As a songwriter, I'd be thinking, oh, where am I going? Where am I going to get what am I going to do if people can create songs this fast and easy, too easy in some ways, but I don't know if it's the way of the future. I think that's what people are going to do. I would be going, why can if Facile asked me for a song, I'd say, well, why don't I just put it on an AI program I have, and I'll write you the song right here. And if you don't like that one, I'll create 30 more. And you can pick 30 more, and I could probably do 30 in about 20 minutes. And then he could decide what to sing with them. And I can have the vocals in or out. Say, hey, check this out. This is a catchy chorus, and we'll just pull the stems out of this because you can do that, and you sing this instead of them. It's really an industry that I'm concerned about.
Facile, before you jump in, let's go
Okay.
back. Let's go back. I mean, when you were growing up, Ron and Facile, let's go back historically. How
Mhm.
did you see the industry up until now? How did you see it? I quite remember back in the day, before you go into the studio, um, somebody would demand a demo, right? And at
Yeah.
that time, a demo says, I don't like this, go and change it and stuff like that. And it was a way of sanitizing the music before it's recorded.
Release.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you give
Right.
it to the so-called executive producer, and they was, I don't like this, or they'll play with some friend, I don't like that. You can do this and that. I mean, it was like from the artist's point of view to a consumer, because at that particular point in time, the executive producer may not have been a musician. They would have been listening to it, says, I don't like this, go and do this, and change it. And when they were satisfied, you went into the studio and then did it. And then at the end of the day, who controlled the music? Was it the artist? Was who? I mean, let's go back to how you saw the industry um, back then, before we come on to this. Ron, you can jump in
Yeah.
on Brazil.
Oh, I know from what you're saying, it's similar to what authors went through. A lot of them would give them the first, number of paragraphs to a book, would give an editor the first paragraphs to a book and say, do you like this idea that I have in mind? And then they would either go yay or nay, or, we like this idea, but, and that's how authors would do their books, or get to have them published. And it's the same thing as you said, TYB, that the musicians used to do at one time, and maybe they still do this to some degree. And that is, they would show them part of the song and say, what do you think of this in my singing? Or give them a demo of the whole song and say, here's some examples, or more than one song, and say, here's a demo of my works. I know Michael Bublé, this is what he did, and with Warner Brothers. And he said, I can do this, and I know I can. And, he would go through all the works just to prove to them that he was capable. And then eventually he got a contract, and rightly so, because he's such a great songwriter and singer. However, today that's changing. I don't know, Facile, you tell me what you remember.
I think it was a lot of thrill, being that in as much as you could work on a project being a demo and have it not approved, meaning you have to, go back to the drawing board. There was still that thrill, It's like the thrill of, being groomed to become a better version of you. as opposed to today when you don't really have um, you don't really have that team in the sense that if you're trying to get a record from your bedroom, you have to decide, like you make the final decision as to it coming out, compared to having people around, the music director, the producer, even the manager, people just getting to say, okay, I think we could work on this to make it get better, before we record. Let's have you rehearse again, like from the rehearsal process, from songwriting to rehearsing, to basic recording that's not original recording, to the producer is like, okay, I think you've got the grip. Let's do the original recording. You're getting this right. That whole process is a thrill, compared to today. Even before the introduction of AI, a musician that records from his bedroom will still make every decision himself. So as compared to today, I think projects would come out faster. But I miss the thrill. You understand? I like to the thrill and the drill. I'll call it the drill in the sense that you are trained over and over, to the point where you can say, okay, you're not perfect, but you're close to professional. And if this comes out, everyone wants to listen. You understand? Then the chill, is that experience where you're excited about the end of this, but you're not in a hurry to see the end, knowing that the more drill you get, the better, people, consume that product. So yeah, I miss all that. I miss that process, compared to today.
In essence, if I can, in essence, you miss the human aspect of it. You sitting down to crack your head, crack your brain, and then
Yeah,
do all that kind of put all those kinds of processes together to
yeah,
come up with something that would be acceptable before you even went into the studio, as opposed to
yeah,
a machine telling you that okay, everything is cooked. The food is cooked,
yes,
and just come and eat, and
yeah.
and go. Um, is that a thrill that you miss, or what is it?
Yeah, that's the trail. But more importantly, if you heard me well, I said there used to be a team. There used to be like a group of people. You could even have your friends, visit the studio with you. You understand? And even your friends could tell you this isn't sounding right. Why don't you come back and book a new session? Let's go back and rehearse. And the producer could be like, okay, I'm going to tape this record for you, take it back home, listen to yourself, see how you could get better, and come back and re-record. So that process just makes you feel like, a boxer, going for a match, but having pre-matches, till the grand match,
Mhm.
and the grand match, he knows it's a win. You understand? So that's what I really miss, that process where it's not just me, there's still other people that have to decide, you know, and like the entire creative journey, has you been certain that what you achieve at the end of the day is greatness, as opposed to today when it's click and boom. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I quite remember I did live. No, I love live recordings, and the band we went to the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation Studios, CBC Records, and
Okay.
I did um, a recording there, and it was supposed to be one shot, live recording, boom. So when we did the first, second, third takes and whatever, we did
Yeah.
two tracks. And we listened to it. We came back and said, I think it was missing something. So we had to go back in there. The thrill of going back, knowing that something was missing because you're using that your brain, your creative instinct in you to go back and say, this wasn't
Yeah.
right. And so you were putting in a lot of things, a lot of effort as a human being into it, and the thrill is not there anymore where you can go just walk in there and then I mean, give me that, give me this, give me that, give me that, give me that. That's it. It's been taken out, but we'll get into the future of it. But then Ron, anything to add to what Cecile said?
I think Fasil was saying, is it's the journey. That's the important part. I think the journey is what's going to keep your brain going, rather than having instant success with something, because that instant success doesn't do anything for you as a person. I think you as a person. So if you want to be good at what you're doing, it's not an overnight success. It's a journey. It's like anything. You don't learn to read overnight. You don't learn to play an instrument overnight, and that's just not what is possible. It's impossible to learn to play any type of instrument, and singing, include singing in there, in a very short period of time. That's just, I put it at impossible because it really is. There are some who will practice and practice and practice, and they say it takes 10,000 hours of practice time to become a professional. And really it does. It does take that. So I think that to me is the journey. And it is a journey, because I remember as a kid, I mean, even 14 to, even up to today, practicing my instruments. And if you're not willing to do that, not willing, I shouldn't even say that. If you don't want to have that journey, then you're going to miss out some really wonderful things about music. I saw a young girl learning to play guitar, and she was just sitting outside this grocery store the other day, and I came up to her because I saw she had a guitar, and I said, "You play guitar?" And she said, "Well, not really. I'm just learning." I go, "That's part of it. That's a whole part of the game. You keep at it." And so trying to encourage her to play, because it's not going to be an overnight thing. That was then, and it still is to some today. However, I am concerned about those who want this instant kind of thing to show up. And I think to me, I think if Fasil has said the same thing, and I'll say it again, it's the journey for me. Fasil, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it really is the journey, because even instant success, if you take it back to academics,
Yep.
it will be questioned. Instant success will be questioned. How did you come about this? You understand? It's like not attending class and coming out top of your class.
Well put.
You'll be questioned.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You'll be questioned. So I don't want to be questioned.
No.
I don't even want to question myself.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's it. So I just feel, in as much as everyone wants a soft life, a soft landing, an easier journey towards achieving success, there's still joy in knowing inwardly that you're becoming a better version of yourself, a natural better version of yourself, not an artificial better version of your projects or your products. Because this is your project, this is your product, this is not you. How much input do you have in this? Just a couple typed words on the keyboard, or from the keyboard to the computer. How much input do you have on this? So Ron sent a couple sound tracks earlier on, and they were amazing. I just couldn't say anything because originally I'll start writing, but it hit me like, you should start writing. You've not written for a while. But I'm like, why should I start writing? Ron could use the same program to get, the best lyrics. And even if he sends those lyrics to me and I decide to sing, no, Ron could also use the same program to get the best songwriter. You understand? But
Yeah.
he mentioned something that got me, and that's where I think I come in when we discuss AI. He said that program could create a soundtrack in minutes, but it could also give you the stems, meaning you could open a data file and rearrange, probably mix to your standard. I like the fact that you could go back to the skeleton of this and put in your own brain work. I like that. So even if I was to use artificial intelligence to make a song, when it gets to the songwriting process, I want to tell this AI program my experience. I want to tell the AI program, I just lost my dad. I just got out of a messy relationship. It's been hectic. And, I'm trying to get my groove back. I want my story to be part of, the journey. Then at this point, I'm the one questioning the AI to see how good, it could get me to send my message out there. I also want a program that could make me, get lyrics and still edit them, Let's say the program isn't going the direction I want with this. Let's say the program is too vulgar or anything of that sort, or too expressive. I want to be able to adjust all that. So if programs could be made, and it's semi AI and still, original intelligence. And I think we could work something out. So that way you still get to tell your story. You still have an input. And at the end of the day, if AI was really all that, AI should be proud of you too, for collaborating and making a great project. So I think that's how I come in, with this whole, technology thing. I want to be able to edit. I'm an editor. Originally, I would always, want to break that skeleton and rebuild the framework. So long as the programs permits, you to put a bit of your brain work into it, then why not? We're good to go. Yeah.
But looking at it from another angle, the journey and the creativity, the generative
Yeah.
creativity aspect of it, um, would you embrace totally, or at some point, human and AI working together, or in this particular instance, like we discussed it the other time, where this lady, this young woman came out, and then all of a sudden, never sang before, never knew any music. She had an idea as to how to use AI. She created the music. Boom, bang, she got signed for $3 million and stuff like that. When it gets to that point, would the thrill be there, or um, there has to be a point where AI and human creativity will have to sort of come together at some point and then do it, or somebody who doesn't have any background in music coming out, so okay, because it's there, boom, 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 let me do it, and then boom. How do you see that impacting the industry, Ron?
Go ahead, Theo. Phil, yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So there has to be a synergy for me because a lot would be pulled, out of the game. When I say the game, I mean, what music really is, what entertainment is. If this lady was to, get signed from an AI produced song, how does she handle shows? How does she handle concerts? Who sings at the shows and concerts? I
Mhm.
don't I don't want to miss those parts. I don't want to miss because those parts make the entirety wholesome, what it's supposed to be. You understand? I want to feel, alive while doing music. So if we take these parts out, then it kills me slowly. It's just to me it's temporary joy. It kills me slowly when there are roadblocks that AI hasn't figured out how to fix. If AI figures out how to fix attending shows, performing at shows and concerts, then I think there might be no need for humans. We just might have to, sit back and let AI take over the world. So the synergy is really necessary in the sense that for some reason, if AI makes your job faster, then get that job done, but have an input of the human feel in that job.
mhm.
So if worst case scenario, I have to do the singing. So I could go for shows. So it's my voice. So I'm not miming an AI's voice. And people can tell, oh, you don't sound as great as the audio sounds. You
Mhm.
understand? So I think there should be a way we work out a synergy, where there is me, there's AI, and when I have to show up, I show up. When AI has to show up, AI shows up. AI should be the backstage. AI should be most of the backstage because AI wouldn't get on that stage, to perform to a crowd of 10,000, a million and stuff. So I think till we figure out how, we could, merge, get that synergy. I'm not totally ready to give it all to AI. It has to be a synergy, Yeah.
But in this particular case, she wrote the song. I mean, she did wrote the song. Yeah.
Typed in a song.
That's right. And then she got signed. I've been seeing, we've been sharing some stuff between us. Artists have been signed. AI artists have been signed left, right, and center. 5 million. So, like you struck something that was interesting. Who goes out there to perform?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
who goes out there to perform? In this particular case, who? Let's say the consumers like, oh, I love what that young lady created. I would like to see her perform. One, she doesn't sing. She's not an artist. She's not a musician. She doesn't even get close to being an artist. So where do we go from here? Is our society heading towards an era where we are going to be controlled, just like how COVID, the pandemic struck? We couldn't do anything, right? So is the music industry. Are we going to be hamstrung in such a way that okay, AI is there because we have to deal with it, whether we like it or not? Whether we like it, it has come to stay. But at what point are we going to be able to say that okay, this is authentic, this is not authentic? Authentic in the sense that human creativity is involved as opposed to machine, right? At what point are we to say that this is a live person or an AI person? Would AI be able to go and perform out there? And what is it? I'm so when it gets to this point, I'm so confused, and I get a headache around. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you, I can tell you too. I mean, there's one thing. When I saw that you listening to today's songs that I typed in, I don't even want to say wrote. I have to say typed in and sent to you because it's not writing; it's typing in. You had this big smile on your face, like, "Wow, this is really cool. This is cool," because it had a groove to it, had a feel. It was a real person. It sounded like real people singing it. Sound like
Yeah.
people from the Caribbean. And I noticed when I sent it off to our group that we have for this program, Petra has already responded, and she's got hearts by both the songs. I don't know if she knows it's an AI yet,
I don't think so.
and so she may have not wanted to put the hearts there if she knew that. However, I think the telling story is always going to be, can you perform it live, please? And I think we're going to have to see, and that's going to be more difficult to even prove, like with videos. We're going to see people that today I can still tell a video when it isn't quite human.
Mhm.
It's done by AI. There is a difference. But musically, I'm listening to songs and I'm going, I've got pretty good ears. And man, this is tough to differentiate between human
Very close.
and yeah. If you listen to the ones that I sent you today, both of you, I sent one to Basil as well, the same one I sent you to, IB. I would have thought that was just as much a reggae band artist of any sort out there. It sounded like the real thing. I think the difference is going to be whether or not the artist is going to be able to perform live. That, as I said, because we will always want to see people. People have to see people because otherwise we might as well just sit in our bedrooms or wherever, our living rooms, and just veg out and do nothing. So, for instance, I know I have a couple performances coming up in December, and the people who are coming out, I know what they're coming out to do. They're coming out to have a good time and have a party. And there's going to be 5 of us on stage performing live. Now, if I just put on canned music, well, I don't know if they'd get the same effect because I know the fellow who's fronting or the lead singer for all the songs, he's going to be the fellow that's going to lead them on, and he's going to be able to get them going and excited. I don't know that we're ever going to get to that point where AI does that, thankfully. And as I said to the drummer who's going to be joining me with this, we have a practice tomorrow, and I said, what do you think of these heavy metal songs I wrote? He goes, man, that's tight. That's really good. He says, and then I wrote, now I'm going to depress you. They were created by AI. And he responded back by saying, oh, dude, AI is worse than social media. It's going to kill us before social media even does. I said, my one response to him was, good thing you play an instrument. And he said, oh, yeah, because and he sings too. We both sing, so not as good as Facel, but however, it's just, that's going to be the human thing that we're going to need. We're always going to need humans. And we will never get to the stage until we get to 3D where you can actually touch it and it feels like a real person. And I get scared of that thought on a 3D, projector or something that does something.
Yeah.
And I think we're a long ways from there. And how do you even how's this person, I think her name's, I don't want to say Mona, but the person who got the $3 million contract, how's she going to promote her music other than on any kind of social media or any kind of music platforms? Because she's not going to go on the Jimmy Kimmel show all of a sudden. She's not going to be interviewed on the radio. This singer isn't going to be able to. And nor is this singer going to be able to ever step on a stage. So other than creating the song or creating songs for our social media and music platforms where you make no money, zero, unless you get a $3 million contract, and that's few and far between. Where are we going with this? I say they're going to have great songs written that nobody can perform live, and that is going to save those of you who want to be in the music industry. Playing live instruments is going to save you. Or singing, of course. I put the two together as the same thing.
So in
Yeah.
essence, that doesn't mean that we should look at say an AI created music being cover tuned by bands, music,
Yeah.
artists going out there to just what is it? Because it will not be the same. Because I would like to see Facil performing the music
Yeah.
that is trending, as opposed to no matter how videos are created or some, it's not the same. It's not going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
It is not going to be the same. I would like to see Facil perform the music that he says he created, and I know he
Mm-hmm.
created. He did in the studio, just like how we've seen it today. I would like to see that. So that is going to be taken out. But then we cannot say this, notwithstanding the fact that the labels are also playing a part in this, pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing it. You see, well, back in the day, I quite remember Decca Records, Decca, what
Mm-hmm.
Mastered Voice, and there were others, right? They control I mean, they were just a handful. But today, you have one that has subsidiaries. You might think they're new. Even in Canada right now, if you take telephone services, Fido is owned by Rogers.
Yeah.
The same thing. Bell Canada owns, I think, Charter, and it's the same kind of grouping. So, uh, are we looking at a future where we are going to be, as artists, we are going to be squeezed out of the market because it's getting to be very chaotic before it settles, but it's kind of it's a little bit of uneasiness out there, Fasil.
Yeah, yeah, it is because AI, the only representation of AI in shows or concerts would be a robot. And I don't want to watch a robot perform. We just might get on stage and beat the robots and break it and tear it all apart. I don't want to
Yeah.
Yeah.
watch a robot perform. So that's the only representation of AI in shows, or interviews. And this would also mean a human, a programmer, has had to fit in, the possibility of answering every question into the AI. So at the end of the day, we are still being controlled by humans who created robots to control humans. So I mean, if we go back to the drawing board, there should be a way out of this, because to some extent, this AI introduction to humanity is definitely for financial gain, I would say, since it makes, the job easier, job is done faster. So there should be a way to manage that situation. We're in as much as we are all after financial gain. We don't lose our essence as humans because it could get to the point where I'm not trying to drift from the topic, but you don't
It's
want to
okay.
go to church and the pastor is a robot. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
it's
yeah.
that bad. It could move into religion. It could move into politics. Like
Oh,
imagine a governor or the senators, prime ministers, presidents is a robot. We don't want that because we'll start doubting what we don't trust. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't trust AI.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't trust
yeah,
AI.
you're right.
Yeah.
So let me jump in there. You put in a sentence, something just put in the same thing, erase it, put it back in there again to give you a different answer.
Mm-hmm.
How can I trust that?
That's right. Because I was looking at Gemini, and it tells you underneath, it tells you, do not trust this. Go and check it again. It tells you
Yeah.
right
Yeah. Well, how do I trust
Yeah.
this? If you're
Well,
if you're generating photos or videos for a media project, the same sentence put in a second later, it's a different generation.
Mhm.
If I'm trying to generate someone that looks close to Ron and I regenerate, it starts losing the originality of what he really looks like. So I mean, it's I can't trust that.
Uh,
I can't trust that. You
you
understand?
probably
I can
look
only
better than
use
me.
it for, yeah. I can't trust that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
We don't we don't
I
we, we don't want to lose our essence at the end of the day. And our essence is
no.
trusting us, trusting what can come from us. Truth,
Mhm.
truth,
Yeah.
soul, truth and soul. We need that at the end of the day. AI has got no soul.
Well, I tell you, the song I sent to TYB earlier, I mean, he sure was grooving on it. So, I mean, it certainly had the feel of a song, a reggae song. And folks,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah,
the
I heard that. I
way
like.
but it's just not going to ever be performed live by a group. Well, which maybe
Sad.
you don't ever want it for, but so maybe writing like the song I sent to him, I wish I could send it to you right now, folks, but just to give you an idea of what it will do, um, it's but it was so convenient for me to just write it in 15 minutes or less.
Yeah,
I put in all the words. I said, I want to say this, this, and this. Here's the three verses. Here's the three
yeah,
choruses, and go on a course out. It did exactly that, and it created it for the sake of being easy. Yes, it was fast, but otherwise, Basil, you would have probably paid for those songs like that, at least $10,000. Um,
wow.
or sorry, TYB, that would have been for the show. It would have been at the minimum of
oh
10
yeah, oh yeah.
to have some artists go in the studio and record those, and you got them for free, and just let me know and which one you want, and I'll send you
Yeah,
the WAV file for it instead of the MP3, and you'll have even better quality for it. Um,
yeah,
and for the sake of the show, that was simple. For simplicity, if you're trying to, but what I'm worried about is it's going to take people's jobs away. So, in other
yeah,
words, if a TV show wants to, or somebody doing a commercial, like for instance, say for Rogers or something, as we mentioned earlier, and Rogers wants to do a commercial, and they want to say, we want to see this, this, and this, and we only have 30 seconds to do that because the commercial is 30 seconds long. Please, or 15 seconds, write us a jingle for this, and here's the words we want to say. Um, and for people like that, they'll be jumping at this because they can do it. But then the artists that would normally write these songs are going to be out of jobs because they're just going to go, it's simpler. We just type the right words into the computer and it'll do what we want, and it'll give us 75 different versions of it if we want. And so what I get worried about is people's jobs. Thankfully, I'm retired. I've got all that taken care of. However, if I was in the music industry trying to do jingles or even movies as well, wow, man, that could take over the music industry, or for the music industry of for anybody writing musicals for any type of music, or sorry, any type of TV show or movie. I,
It's interesting that you bring the jobs out there because right
mhm.
now we are not talking even about engineers, songwriters, venues where artists will go and perform,
Mhm.
right? If the artist is not coming because AI can't come out there to perform, right? So you're losing all these venues which created, jobs, temporary
yeah,
jobs or what have you, to to other people, and now it's gone. The roadies are no longer going to be there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sad.
The sound technicians are not going to be there, what have you. So right, it's quite serious where artists are concerned. But it seems we've been talking about this and it's been going viral, and I've seen a lot of people artists are now sitting up to say, geez, would I have a job?
Mhm.
See, the stuff that Ron sent to me, it was good, so good to be true. But with my position on AI, at the back of my mind, say, It's an AI creator, so it's AI created. So the authentic side of it, knowing um, where I'm heading to is, are they going to be captioned as AI music, or what is it going to be, so that the consumer may be able to, sort of make his or her mind as to whether to go for it or to get whether. I mean, it still boils down to the fact that I'm still confused, but I have to accept
Yeah.
it has come to stay. But where are we heading to? Copyright wise, laws governing it, and all those kind of stuff. Who is going
Yeah.
to be writing it? Who's going to be involved in it? Are the labels also going to be, because now they are in charge, right,
Mhm.
of where things are going right now? Because every day is Suno has merged with this one, that one is merged with that one is merged with that. So the window of opportunity for artists is getting closer and closer, and then we've been locked out. So just like what Ron said, form your groups, your bands, your music, and go out there to perform. Take the music from the gates, and you run with it, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to waiting for something to happen, because it may come to a point in time where you cannot go out there. Right now, there are
So
some sites where I used to go to, download MP3s and stuff like that. There's one site tells you, I was looking at it yesterday. It tells me that as of December the 1st, that is shutting down. They are,
Mhm.
they are accepting from artists only videos.
Mm.
Only videos. That aspect of it, the MP3s are all gone. But then I
That
said,
makes sense.
well, if you're accepting that, yeah, I can also go there, download, and
yeah,
convert to MP3,
MP3.
right?
Huh.
So the window of opportunity is closing. Now Spotify is increasing um, the rate, right? If you want to go there, everything is changed, and Suno, Udo, and all of these, companies are coming together to squeeze musicians out, to put in AI. That is where the danger is. So as artists, are we thinking about what we are going to be doing? I know there are a lot of pushback, but at what point are we going to say, okay, we give up? Just like the Canadian CRTC in Canada has said that, you know what, AI radio, mm-mm. Even iHeart Radio is saying no more AI. They are not going to accept AI music.
Well,
They are not.
Oh, but
uh,
I have one question. Would you have been able to tell
no.
that the songs I sent you were AI?
But who will be? The question is who is the artist?
Yeah. Well, I could make a name up.
Oh, fine. I would like to interview the artist.
Yeah. Well, I could say it's Ron Malinga, but of course I don't
after
sound like that.
after making a name up, there has to be personality.
Oh,
From
well, I
history,
agree. I'm
You-
playing this devil's
from
advocate here.
yeah,
That's all.
from from history, there's been, there's been that feeling of consuming and wanting to get into the story or life, of this product, of this artist. So let's say
Mhm.
Tupac, for instance, he was always in the news, crime, this,
Mhm.
that, violence. Okay, aside listening to his music, this is something you might jump on. You might even see him on a movie. So we want that. We want to also, you know, get involved in the personality of this person,
Mhm.
understand where he or she comes from, where he draws inspiration from, and all that. It makes you enjoy the projects more. It
Yeah.
makes you consume it better. I listen to AI, and AI, I'm heartbroken. I listen to AI, and I don't know it's AI. Let's say I listen to Ron's song, a love song. I'm heartbroken. I listen to that song, and I feel better. And I find out it's AI. I'm heartbroken again. Why?
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
why would AI heal me? No, I
Yeah.
need, I need, I need a human story. I need to tap into a real person's experience,
That's right.
how they were able to get out of this feeling into feeling better. Not AI. No,
Yeah.
no, 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 not AI.
No,
Mhm.
I agree
So,
there.
your
Yeah.
question about what points do we get to where we accept this, where we hands off and say, okay, we're rolling with this. I think I think we'll never get to that point except governing bodies are put in place to handle this AI situation. Probably the original government or new bodies are being put in place, to for some reason, just because at the point you might start hearing AI tax. It's a
Yeah,
lot. And like I said, if it's for financial gain, if the people, that control, the market system, the entertainment sector, the economy at large, if for some reason AI makes them make more money, then they might just, they might leave it at the point where nobody gets to decide if they're going to agree or not. But we know there'll still be consumers. Because when it gets to the point where we really have to agree, some people might protest and it might be an unnecessary outrage. So I mean, they could just want to, keep making the money, like a record label now doesn't need to put in so much. You just start a record label, have so many AI artists, put them on the digital platforms, make some money from there. You still use AI programs to even promote the songs so people see it faster, download, listen. So it's been totally watered down, and it's quite unfortunate that if we ever get to the point where we have to decide, I'm scared AI might win because people always want the easy way out.
money. Is
Yeah,
yeah,
More
it's the
money.
good point.
it's the people who have the money,
Yeah.
the labels, right? Because
Yeah.
right now you see them, okay, we are against it, and tomorrow see they emerge, because that's
Yeah.
where we're going right now.
Exactly.
My whole fear about the whole thing is that about jobs, about
Sorry.
authenticity in terms of the human aspect of it, right?
Sure.
Just like we're saying, AI can never go out there to perform, never,
Yeah.
right?
Never.
Are we going to accept that as opposed to what, right? It is quite troubling, and it all boils down to money. And Cecile, you just said the governing bodies, look at us right now. I've seen the biology, global or world biologists or scientists association doing this, going for conferences. And have you heard of musicians doing the same thing to think about the future? No, to be able to fight back. Right now, what I see is individuals are fighting back, just individuals. But
Not
if
strong enough.
the community of artists are able to say, no, 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 wait a minute, it's just too much on us. Am I going to get? It's not there. So the labels are going to have their way, unless artists will say, okay, you know what? If you want to do that, that's it. I'm going to trademark my name. I'm Fasil. You can use my image. You can use my voice. You can't use anything about me. You know, don't use it. Just like Ron was doing something. He says, "Give me Bob Marley." It refused.
And good.
It refused to do that because of the repercussion, right? Because you
Copyright.
use it, you are in big trouble. So what I would say artists should start doing would be to trademark themselves. Just
Mhm.
trademark your name, trademark your voice, trademark your images about you. I mean, to be able to be authentic, to be able to be eligible for any future kind of how do I say remunerations from whatever. Yeah, so they can touch you, because when Ron said, "Oh, give me a voice like Bob Marley," the machine knew. I can't go there. No, 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 not this time. No, no. You think I'm stupid? No, I can't go there. So if every artist is going to do the same thing, then there'll be a point where sanity will prevail, as opposed to us giving up or
Sure.
giving up the turf, right? I don't think all is lost yet, not until certain things are put into place, because copyright laws have got to be rewritten and all these things. And, in general, let me digress just for 1 second about AI. Is it going to make us smarter? Because right now, kids are. I saw something on social media that turned my. They have pens right now, pen, where they are demonstrating that you can go and walk into an exam room to write a test for in schools. You just put a pen there, and then they type in the topic, and then you know you're writing the answer.
Mhm.
Is it going to make us smarter, or is it going to be make us dumb? What is it? Where are we heading to? So it's a societal thing that everybody will have to sit by and say. Just like you said, I think governments will have to set in
True.
and say that, you know what, this is what, because I know the Chinese president has said something to that effect a couple of days in that we have to sit back and look at it. Even the chairperson of Google, I've forgotten his name. He has also last week he said something like that we should sit back again and look at the whole thing. So if those people are looking at it from that angle that we cannot cede the turf to AI, we have to sit back and listen, Ron. Oh,
Well, I'll tell you one of the things I'm going to say. I'm going to stick up for AI for one moment, just to say that the thing that it might help us do is for personal self, might be able to do something that we may not have been able to do before. For instance, I will say that I am not the greatest singer in the world, and I will be the first to admit that. However, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to sing a little bit into my computer. I'm going to be able to say, hey, I use my voice. You have my permission. I'm who I am. And please write me a song. And then I can at least hear my voice, probably not exactly how it would be. However, it will give me something that'll say that, hey, this is for your enjoyment, enjoy. This is for your own self-worth. However, in terms of the artists themselves, I agree that I have a feeling that real people are going to, in some ways, win, because they're going to be the people that can sing and they can play an instrument and walk out on stage and say, here I am, folks, this is me. As Phil said earlier, he said, hey, people are going to want to know about you. That's why, for instance, Taylor Swift is so popular. People love knowing what she's doing every moment of every day, who she's going to get married to, and and how they got engaged, and all this kind of personal stuff, how she's gone about, and she's put this all over social media, how she's gone about her latest album, for writing it, and the process she went through. People love to know this. So when she gets up on stage, they feel like they have some kind of connection to them. It's having that connection that AI will never be able to give us. That I think is the important part of being humans. Just like the three of us are talking right now, AI isn't going to be able to have, and if it did, I'd turn it off. It had, three guys like us that were just moving our mouths, and AI was speaking for all of us. I would be a little bit concerned about that, going, well, that's not really a human. Maybe it is a human opinion, but is it really? Because they're not humans. So is it really human? So I think it's going to be the thing that helps us as beings to live, and hopefully get some satisfaction out of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fasil, any thoughts on that?
So you asked if it's gonna make us smarter. Nah, it's gonna make us faster. And if you move without thinking, you hit destruction. That's all I have to say. I want to think. I want a bit of this in the system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to play. I want to be able to play my instruments,
Mhm.
and practice them, and still know that there isn't anything that's going to be me, because I am me, and nobody's going to be able to recreate that for playing.
Yeah.
And
Originality.
yeah, exactly. It's who you are, and it's like you guys, you two, and your voices, you are who you are, and AI hopefully will never steal your voices, because that's what you have going for you, and that to me is the essence of being a human. I hope that we always want to listen to humans sing and play. I know that I've gone through. I do a Facebook group where I share a lot of transcriptions, which just means the bass part, specifically out of different tracks. Here's what the bass player played. And there's been many times where I've actually taken the song apart and noticed mistakes. And they've just left them in, because I guess the rest of the track was so good, they thought that one little mistake, let's just leave it in. Perfect example of that, and I've said this before, is September. As soon as Verdine White, the bass player, comes in on September, in the second measure of the song, he makes a mistake. That's okay. He's doing this do do doody do doody and goes do do that, and you hardly would notice it.
Yeah.
However, the rest of the track, he's killering. I mean, absolutely kills the track in terms of it's just got such a great human feel. In fact, if you listen to the song, you try to put a metronome to it, you won't be able to do that because the song from start to the end, Charlie Puth was pointing this out in a video, saying that if you listen to September, the song by Earth, Wind and Fire, you'll notice that it starts at one tempo, and if you go to the end of the song, it's at a totally different, faster tempo, quite a bit faster actually. But would you notice it? No, because that's just humans. They just got, I guess, more into it, more excited about it, and just the whole song, the vibe of the song, and got into it. But with AI, the song will be perfect from beginning to end. So humans aren't perfect, and that's one of the joys. Actually, in some ways, I'm glad humans make mistakes because that makes us who we are.
Yeah, I was looking at some. Oh, go ahead, Fasil. Go ahead.
No, I just said nice. I like how he ended. Humans are not perfect, and I think that imperfection is the reason we want to know the story because there's always the tail end, the beginning. There's always the tragic. There's always the comic. So the fact that I can key into the human and know that there's gonna always be imperfection, then I just feel more comfortable with that. Than I mean, if AI was human, they wouldn't make mistakes. They wouldn't
Mm,
they wouldn't have accidents, they wouldn't, go on stage and trip, they
Mhm.
wouldn't miss a key, like you said. And
Mhm.
I mean, I can't deal with that. The world needs a bit of imperfection.
Well, and I
Yeah.
know that the guitarist, I know for U2, said one time one of his most embarrassing or hardest moments was one time when he actually fell off the stage. And that is, it just, of course, it was an accident. Fortunately, he didn't get hurt. I think it's The Edge is his name. And he explained this, and I was reading and going, wow, see, I mean, that can happen to anybody. Um,
oh yeah.
but AI wouldn't have that happen. If you had an
It
AI
can
artist
happen
on
to AI.
stage, then AI would never have an artist accidentally
AI
fall.
would never fall off stage.
Yeah, yeah, it was not going to happen. But
AI,
that just
AI
shows,
wouldn't AI wouldn't climb the stage. So AI wouldn't fall off the stage.
Well,
yeah, that's
see,
right.
I was performing with my group back in the day at a club called the Bamboo downtown Toronto, and we're just performing, and it was the stage there, and it was just all of a sudden the drums, right, the drums and everything, the drum and everything, they just fell down on the stage,
Happens.
and it was just a laughter and stuff like that. I mean, as an artist on stage, you get so many different things. You are the one who's listening. This person is playing something. That's not the that kind of experience, right?
Yeah.
That trajectory is something that is going to be missed. I'm looking at something here. It says AI is likely to replace human artists entirely in the immediate future, but will instead function as a powerful disruptive tool, forcing a redefinition of creativity, ownership, and the business models that underpin the music industry. Hmm.
Yeah, probably true. Can't
Mhm.
argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly, basically, that's exactly what we're talking about. Because
Yeah.
if you look at it, uh, where are we going? Right now, we don't know. Not until
Yeah. I don't know.
something has happened in terms of the rules, the laws, what have you. Like I was chatting with Ron before we came on it. It's going to be very chaotic.
And I don't think laws are going to change this because you can put a copyright laws into place, but who's going to be the enforcer of all these laws? You put a law into place, they serve no purpose unless they can be actually stepped on or actually enforced. And I don't know how you're going to do that or how one will do that when there's 60 million say posts or 60 million downloads of a song or 60 I shouldn't say downloads 60 million different people putting out all these songs in one day. Say it was that many, I just picked the number of the blue. How are they going to say no, no, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, yes, that's off, this is on? That's to me is like, I don't know how you can do that. I think the thing that's happening too much in the music industry right now is we just have too many artists in there. I'm sorry to say, it's just there's so many, and we're going to get more and more of them sounding so good because they were created by AI that we're going to be going. Can we just? Yeah, I don't even know how we're going to say AI, not AI. I bet you TYB, if I played that song to you and I said, "Hey, that's the Bronken brothers playing that song," I just made the name up off the top of my head, and they recorded the song for the station today or over the last 3 weeks. You probably would have gone, "Wow, man, I got to meet these guys."
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. I would like to, bring them here and then interview them. But then,
Hmm.
like somebody said, that was very interesting. Is was saying that AI artists, right? You can plug them out. Say Joe Timber, the artist, go on social media. They won't have any social media platform there.
Hmm.
Very
Yeah,
difficult. You spoke
yeah.
about copyright, and what I'm looking at here says the central debate revolves around whether AI models are stealing copyrighted material by training on vast databases of existing songs without consent or compensation. Lawsuits and evolving licensing deals are attempting to establish new legal frameworks.
Lawsuits. They cost a lot of money. And how are you going to have that many lawsuits and put them all through the system?
Hmm.
That's what
Hmm.
I question about that. Anybody who's had a lawyer before
Yeah,
knows that they are not a cheap person to hire, and for
yeah,
good reason. But if you have, 2,500 people have a law case, it's going to take that years and years and years before it goes through the system. So in the meantime, all these other things will come up too. So I don't know.
So do you think that it's going to sort of put a little bit of a damper towards that march towards total the total AI business because of
I,
lawsuits and stuff like that?
I don't think you're going to see an end to AI anytime soon. I don't even know how you're going to copyright it and stop copyrights. The only thing I can see it be stopping, which the program I was using didn't allow, is if it sounds like or is the voice of, say, Madonna's voice is being used and replicated in the song. I think that to me is a copyright situation. But beyond that, I don't know how people are gonna put copyrights on stuff to say what that's an AI song and that sounds like Facile. Well, it's not Facile, but it sounds like. So I'm gonna bring that one to court. Good luck. Try and prove that one over.
Wow, wow. Well, gentlemen, it's been a very good conversation. Any final thoughts, Fasil?
Yeah, concerning lawsuits, I would say, like Ron said, that wouldn't totally take AI off the market because I
Mm,
believe there's already platforms where um, the names of these artists are on this platform. So you click, let's say a J. Cole, you click a Drake, for instance, and it gives you that voice type. But not until you put that on digital platforms, there's no copyright situation. But I think most of these programs have synced the licensing. So when you eventually want to put that on digital platforms, because it's that voice, it recognizes it, then I think the license thing comes. So for real, I think even if there are people handling these AI programs and governing bodies, everyone will still work out a system where AI would still exist because people have to just keep making the job easier. AI would always exist. We wouldn't take it off. It's a good thing to the greater percentage of the masses. So I mean, we the remaining part of the masses wouldn't win the fight. So we just have to find a way to see how it favors us at the end. I
but,
mean, I hope when the rapture sounds, it's not an AI blowing that trumpet.
but then at the end of the day, if you look at the fact that um, when Ron slotted in, but say, give me Marley's voice, it didn't. He didn't want to do it. So it means they recognize the fact that there's a limit as to where you can go because
Sure.
I can sound like you, The fact that I can sound like you, there could be something because you're popular, more popular than me. Let's say Fasil is more popular than TYB, and then Fasil is out there, right? And I go to create something like that, right? People will say, but it sounds like Fasil. It sounds like Fasil. Is it Fasil's voice and stuff like that? So it's murky. See,
Yeah,
it, it is it is going to be very very murky because Ron, when I listened to the second one, I thought
Hmm.
of Bono. Seriously, Bono's
wow.
voice came into my. And I said, is this Bono or what? But I said, okay, all right, sure, I'm enjoying it. Right? So let me enjoy what I'm doing. So it's going to be
Yeah.
very chaotic. Lawsuits because I sound like Fasil, I sound like Ron, and it all boils down to money. If you have the
Hmm.
money to pay
And
lawyers,
I
Yeah.
tell you, gray areas don't win in court cases. They have to be black and
uh-huh,
white to win a court
uh-huh,
case. And so if we're going to have all this gray water in
uh-huh,
there, prove that in
uh-huh.
court. That's going to be
Yeah,
a
Ron,
tough
you
one.
know my son Kwame, he's a producer, and he created um, his music, and kind
Hmm.
of Afro beats, kind of hip hoppy kind of stuff, and he was able to put Burna Boy's. We were just joking, put
Hmm.
Burna Boy's voice on it. I said, "Holy crap!" I said, don't let this slip out of here because I don't have the money to bail you out." So, it was more than perfect. I asked him to send it to you,
Hmm.
Ron, and
Yeah, I saw it. I
you
got
got
it.
it. Yeah,
Hmm.
it sounded like holy smokers, what the heck is going on right here? So it is. So if Burna Boy listens to this, can he say that it's not Burna Boy's voice?
Don't release that on social media anywhere.
I said don't go there. So it's see this,
I wouldn't share it with
that's
anybody
right. I
actually
told
if it
him
was
don't
me.
don't no, he knows that. He knows
Yeah.
because the fact of the matter is that just like where we ventured into, would it be would I be able to say, okay, it's not Burna Boy's voice, and what, so this is where it is, because people may sound alike. Seriously.
Hmm.
And Ziggy Marley and the dad, they sound alike. And there are others who may sound like it. So does it mean that I have to hold back my voice? I can't go out there to sound like Fasil. This is quite well. When we read the bridge, we'll cross it. Anyway,
Hmm.
that's right. Yeah, gentlemen,
Hopefully.
it's been so great. Ron,
Yeah, it's been nice.
as usual, it's been a,
Yeah.
a great conversation. Any parting words for any new artists there who may be listening to us? Because a lot of people are listening right now as we speak. Any advice?
For me, parting
Yeah.
words is learn how to sing, learn how to play an instrument. You'll get more joy. They will bring you a lifetime of joy, and you will always be you. So there's my parting words.
And Fasil?
Embrace technology, but stay original.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's short and sweet. And from me, what I would say is that we've come into the era of AI. We have to embrace it. We have to take the best part of it and then start thinking of where we are going to go as artists. Whether to embrace it or not, it has come to stay. We have to learn to live with it and then find ways and means to sort of be human and then to go on creating the best music that we've been creating all along and not to rely on machines to tell us or to algorithmize us to tell us who we are. But then at the end of the day, we belong to one race, and that is the human race. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Highway 6 to Africa will not be heard next week because we are having a Christmas party for kids, as we've been doing over the past 4 years. Christmas party for kids. So if you are out there and you haven't registered your kid to attend the party, hey, go to our website and you know what, you register the kit. And by the way, I would like to tell our viewers and listeners, anytime you want to watch our live shows just like this one, go to our website. You'll be able to watch it live, or go onto your YouTube and Facebook and other social media platforms. That is what we have been able to do to bring um, our program and all other programs on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio to you. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. See you, and bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.